Welcome to day 2 of the Sea Otter Classic. You guys have been asking for more hot tech, and we're here to deliver. We're going to head out and find as much cool bikes and tech so we can possibly get our hands on. The sun's just coming up. Let's go find that stuff. So I've stopped by the Cadex stand, and this is a giant Propel custom painted by Michael Patrick Hurley, who's a famous custom painter out of Las Vegas. And this bike is actually Rasan Bahadi's. So those of you who remember the GCN Plus days, Rasan Bahadi actually featured in a GCN Plus documentary. So this is actually pretty cool to see his crazy bike. Also, while we're on the stand, I've spotted some new tyres, I think. So the Jayco and Lula team have been racing on what appear to be some unreleased tyres since the Tour Down Under at the start of the year. And, well, they seem to have some new tyres on the Cadex stand. There's no details about them yet, but I think they're called the Cadex Aero Cottons. So hopefully in the coming weeks, we might start to see some more information about it. But as the name sort of suggests, we think the tread pattern might be having some sort of impact on aerodynamics. And then, well, we've got a cotton casing construction to help reduce rolling resistance and keep the tyres super lightweight and supple. Okay, the guys at Hollywood Racks have got this wild looking bike here on their bike rack behind me. Now, some people say gravel bikes are nothing more than mountain bikes with drop handlebars. This bike is quite literally a mountain bike with drop handlebars on it. It's a Lee Kogan and it's the Enve. But what is really fascinating and has drawn me to this bike is the rear suspension design. So we've got a mountain bike suspension fork up front, but at the back we've got this incredible rear suspension where there are no actual main pivot points. All of the movement is coming from flex within the material. So this is carefully engineered and designed into it to make it strong and reliable as well. So you've got the bottom bracket area which pivots up ever so slightly, and then almost like a carbon fiber leaf spring here with elastomer inserts where you can change the grade and the resistance that they have to help stiffen or soften up the design of this. Now, according to the information here, it's got only 30 millimeters of travel on the back, which is enough to help soak up some of the bumps. Now, when you combine this with the high volume mountain bike tyres you've got, really, you've got a super aggressive and versatile and capable gravel bike, even though it's technically a mountain bike. You know what I mean. Black hard bikes now with this absolute work of art. It's the Road Titanium, and there's so many cool things about this bike. But what I like is that it's really like understated. Now the world's beautiful, all the mitering of the tubing and the intersection is really cool. But when you look at the top tube, this is a small subtle detail that unless you really notice and pay attention to, you won't fully appreciate. So at the back here at the seat tube section, you've got the same shape and diameter on the top tube where it intersects with the seat tube. Then as you move your way along, the shape and form of the tube changes to then match up seamlessly with the head tube here. And it's a similar affair with the down tube here. You've got a sort of slight camtail shape to it with a flat back to the profile. Now, understandably, being made from titanium, it's not a cheap or affordable bike, but Blackheart bikes do the same bike in a road aluminium, which gives you the opportunity to essentially get the same bike with a different material at half the price and 100 grams lighter. The aluminium version is on their stand behind me and is available in a bunch of different colours, all which are done with the Cerakote ceramic coloured finish. Right, we found some tech that isn't involving a bike to start with. This is a really cool drone from Hover Air, and it's like a self-tracking drone, right? So it's powered by AI, and what it does is you turn it on, you give it like to lock on to get an image of you, and then it will automatically track you, be that for whether you're walking around like I am, or what's really cool is it has the ability to track you when you're cycling, and it can go pretty damn fast. And I'm told it can go bursts of I think around 35 miles an hour, so even when you're absolutely sending it down some descents, it'll be able to keep up with you. You've got like an 8K camera that can do 60 or 30 frames per second, I think, and then really cool battery life. This thing is going to be a game changer. Gimbal on the front for the camera, and check this out, right? It folds up. So what you can do, you put that in your back of your jersey pocket, and away you go. I like that. Right, I've stopped by the Park Tools stand, and it is absolutely a hive of activity here. There's non-stop bikes outside being repaired. People are turning up like, hey man, can you repair my bike? So It's absolutely chaos. So I've just grabbed Truman for 2 minutes. He's going to talk us through some of the cool stuff that you got going on. So Truman, what have we got? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, we have some new tools here. Fork cap tool. This is for removing air caps on suspension forks. So stuff like Fox and certain RockShox. So this one would be Marzocchi, DVO, rebound caps on Fox as well, DVO, all kinds of different fork caps. A lot of times they'll get stuck on and you use a pliers and ruin the anodizing. This will help you take that off. Really, really cool tool, very simple, really cost effective. Check it out.
Yeah.
They also have the TH3, little aluminum wheel here. On one side, it has a 1/4-inch drive with a magnet. You can use a 1/4-inch bit in there. And then it's a really slick thing to get into tight spaces like water bottle cages, all kinds of other stuff that you're mounting on your bike. This is slick for that. But then on the other side, it's a square drive. And what that's for is taps. So the TH3 is what it's called, the tap handle 3. This goes in here, and then you tighten a little grub screw on the side, and then you can use this for chasing threads or tapping threads in hard-to-reach places, stuff like your top tube.
Like I say, yeah, so this looks like it'll be for those smaller access bolts, things that are difficult to get to and maybe smaller, more delicate threads.
Yeah, exactly. And think, one of the classic place for it would be on your top tube. So a gravel bike, you have a feed bag spot and it goes right up against the stem. This can go right in there where normally you have a big handle. This fits right in there. Great for chasing those threads. The TH3.
Okay, right. Next up, we've got this incredible looking chain tool. Tell us all about it.
This is the CT15. So this is kind of will work on anything. So flat top transmission or flat top road from SRAM, campy, you can peen with it, all the way down to single speed chains, works with anything. It's got a nice propeller style plunger here. It's got a replaceable pin. The pin has a ball on the backside so it can rotate. So the pin doesn't tend to walk at all as you're using it. It has a shelf that supports it a little bit better, so you don't have to hold the chain as much. Kind of a little pistol grip. The scales here are replaceable. You can take these off and paint them if you want. You can go off and get creative and make your own. Make a wood one or something. And then on the bottom, you have placement pins, and then your peening anvil there, and that thing just goes right in the bottom of the tool, and Bob's your uncle. So
this is
15.
So CT15. This is incredible, right? For those of you who don't know, Park Tools have got their little tool codes. Chain tool 15th edition. This is like the ultimate chain tool. So, Joe, it's the sort of thing you should buy someone as a big birthday present and have for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's one that'll last a lifetime and totally serviceable. Everything's replaceable.
Helmet technology next. Now, we've got the Kineticore here, which is the impact protection system from Lazer. You can look at this almost like crumple zones that you have built into a car structure. The idea is in the event of an impact, these carefully placed and designed internal structures will compress and break to protect your head as safe as possible. Now, the advantages here are there's a reduction in plastics, there's a reduction in weight, and because of the way this is designed, it helps to improve airflow on the rider's head, helping to improve cooling. And then something else which I found particularly interesting is the Eco Lock. Now, this is the little green section on the back of this helmet, and it's a technology which is primarily used on their urban and commuter helmets. So you see what happens is at the end of the helmet's serviceable life, you pull out the green Eco Lock at the back, and that enables the helmet to be easily divided up and separated from the polycarbonate structure, the external shell, and then also the internal fixtures and fittings, so they can all be removed easily and separated to make these helmets more easily and readily recyclable. That is actually a pretty cool thing, and I can't say I've ever seen that before. Take a look at this. So this is a Melee limited edition, and it's painted in what I would describe as this champagne colour. The idea behind this bike is really to celebrate the victory that the Total Energies team had last year, who are riding on Enve bikes. Now, I'm told that there are only going to be 50 of these available, so super limited edition run. We've also got the Enve handlebar, all colour matched in with the bike. And this is actually one of the things that Enve are working on at the moment. So they've got a whole bunch of new colourways across their different bikes. So you've got the Mod gravel bike, the Frey Oro bike, and the Melee road bike. Now, we head over my shoulder. we can take a look at one of those crazy colours for the Enve Melee. So part of the Sea Otter Classic is that you also have the Lifetime Grand Prix Pro Gravel Race here. Now, I've stopped by to see the guys at Silca, and they've recently released their Ultimate Tubeless Sealant. And it's an update on their previous version. Now, what they've done is they are so confident in the sealing capabilities of this sealant is that any Silca-sponsored riders in the Lifetime Grand Prix series, they've said, if you puncture, we are going to give you $500. And so far, they tell me they haven't had to pay out any money. So that's a good thing. Wheel tech now. These launched a few weeks ago, but I've yet to get my hands on a set. So this is the new Drive 50D2 from Elitewheels. Updates over the version 1 are we now got a new rim, we've got a new hub body, new internals. So the hub body is now machined differently to work with the new carbon fiber spokes we've got here, which are now wider than previously. We've also got a ratchet system inside the hub, the free hub body. And in terms of the rim, well, there's been some big changes here. The depth remains the same, 50 millimeters, but internally they're now 23 millimeters wide. Externally, they're now 31 millimeters wide. And in terms of overall weights, well, we're looking at around 1,300 grams for a pair. Also, $1,300. Time trial helmets next. This is the new Wing Dream from Rudy project. Magnetic visor, magnetic fidlock enclosure here. And they're saying this is their latest little creation and has been really popular in the world of time trial and triathlon. Not really the sort of product that you're going to see many people riding in here at the Sea Otter Classic, but pretty cool nonetheless. And it follows that similar form factor that we're seeing lots of modern time trial helmets use, with that really wider base to sort of smooth the airflow over the rider's shoulder. And apparently in some of the wind tunnel testing, it's looking pretty promising. Another cool looking bike. This one is the Bridge Bikeworks. Now, those of you who have regularly watched the GCNTech show will remember we spoke about this bike when it first launched because of one very unique and bold feature, and that is the bottom bracket threads, which are molded into the frame and made from carbon fiber. Now, I was actually speaking to one of the guys behind the brand, and they were like, hey, remember when you spoke about this on the tech show? And I said, yeah. Well, they said, well, look, the bottom bracket has worked out fine. They've sold almost 200 of these bikes, and they said they've had zero issues whatsoever. So if you are like me and one of the people who were skeptical on carbon fiber threads, well, so far, so good according to them. Okay, that's another day here at the Sea Otter Classic, done and dusted. I'm absolutely exhausted, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed seeing all of the cool stuff that we've managed to get our hands on. But fear not, I think there is still more to come. So as I've said before, subscribe to GCNTech and turn on your notifications, because if we can get another video out of this, well, we're going to do it. See you on the next one.